Hey, I'm Brian Maxwell, and I want to ask you a question. Have you ever had anybody on your sales team that had what you consider to be tremendous amount of potential, a really good upside, but they just couldn't seem to get out of their own way? And so what I want to do, because that is very common at dealerships all around, it's that person that sells that comfortable between 8 to 10 units a month. They make anywhere between $2,700 and maybe $3,200 on average every month. And that's their sweet spot. No more or no less. So what I want to do is I want to share 5 ways that you can help those team members that you really see have real good value for your store, and you just want to help them be able to get out of their own way. So number 1 is you want to help them transition, or you want to understand what their financial mindset is. Here's what I see happening is in dealerships in different pockets of the country, in different regions where income levels are greater and then some are much lower, you run into this. You run into a person that's at a dealership and they're making $36,000 a year. They're making $3,000 a month. Now, to a GM, to a sales manager, to a GSM, it's like, hey, come on, man. Hey, listen, we want to get you from that 8 to 10 to that 12 to that 15. We want to get you up. We want to increase your income per vehicle sold, maybe from an average of $1,200 up to $1,500 or $1,800, whatever it is. But every month they just keep being right there. And here's what I found out to be the reason. And then this is by speaking with over 900 sales professionals at different dealerships nationwide over the years that are making in between $30,000 and $40,000. And what I found is that most of them are making more money than anybody else in their family before them. If you have someone whose mother or father never made more than $25,000 a year, which is far more common than what we may think of, and it is unfortunate, but it's a reality of life, and you have this person that's making 36, in their mind, in their reality, and in their world, they are successful. We all want to outdo our parents, and they are outperforming their mother and their father. So there's a conflict of a mental of a mentality. On one leg, they feel like they're doing great, but yet the management always seems to be getting on their back. So you want to begin to expand or help this person grow what their financial mindset is, what their expectations are. Begin to expose them to different things. Maybe you want to start offering, for hitting certain numbers, trips to certain nice restaurants, or maybe referring certain articles. Sit down with this person and go into step 2. So first part is their financial mindset. Number 2, to help them increase their financial mindset is identify what their goal or what their pain is. No different than when we're sitting down and we're qualifying a customer. Remember, management's customers are their sales team members. And you want to treat them the same way you want them to treat the customers coming into dealership. Management needs to remember that they need to treat them as their customers, meaning greeting them the right way, qualifying them, identifying where their pain is or what they're trying to get accomplished, providing them with the solution, giving them a demonstration of how to use that solution, and then executing. So first you want to you want to help them with their financial mindset, then identify what their goal or what their pain is. People get into the business for 1 or 2 reasons. Number 1, either they're just hoping to get a paycheck to pay rent or a light bill, or number 2, they're sick and tired of walking over the dollars to pick up dimes. And I'd say a lot of dealerships are hiring. I'd say over 80% of people that are literally just looking for a paycheck and they're waiting on that first phone call from the so-called real job. So let's do some mathematics real quick. If a dealership is paying, let's say, a $1,500 a month draw, and they only hire 2 people, and let's say those 2 new people only dealt with 5 customers each, total of 10. And let's say it only cost the dealership $100 for each person that they got in there, per customer that came in that store. So that's $1,000 worth of potential customers and $3,000 in paid out draws. And at the end of the month, these 2 people, they cut out and go to this customer service job that another company is offering, or go to Walmart or whatever it is that they go to. Okay, right there, that's $4,000 thrown away, not to mention whatever it costs in certifications and background checks, as you can see, and that's just with 2 people. There are some stores that are going through 5, 6, 7, 10 people every 60 days. And so there's a wonder why monthly cash flows don't go up. So you want to begin to identify what their goal is. What is it that you want? What is your why? Because that why is what's going to keep them in the game when they're having some tough days or tough moments or whatnot. But if we don't know what that why is, how can we put it in front of them? How can we dangle that carrot to keep them motivated, to keep them driven? If it's that kid, it's that child, I want a picture of that baby, and I want to know what it is that you like to get for the child, what it is you'd hope to see this child have or do or whatever it is. And we're going to use that. If it's for your spouse, if it's for a new car, what kind is it? Let's get a picture of it in here. And every time you've fallen off, let's go talk about it. Let's go put together. And this is where I'm going to step ahead a little bit, but we'll get into it. But start identifying what they're looking for. The third thing is, what are they willing to sacrifice? If you're in management at a dealership, you know that there were plenty nights, especially if you're a GM, GSM sales manager. How many nights did you have to explain to your loved ones why you were still at the dealership till 1 a.m? If you're a male, just from a male perspective, how many times did you have to keep calling or texting that significant other to let them know, I'm really at the dealership, and yes, I know it's 12:30 at night, but I am really here. Please trust me and believe me. Ladies, same exact thing. You know, how many books or trainings or resources did you go through to get to where you are? And there's a reason why you saw so many people on your way to where you are right now fall by the wayside. It is not a natural thing for people to be willing to give up anything, which means that we need to help people identify that, hey, if you want to lose weight, you got to work out and eat right. If you want to get better in math, you have to sit down, study, and understand the formulas. Selling is the exact same way. You know, I'm sick of hearing salespeople say how good they are, but then they're barely making any money. I don't care how many sales you're closing if you're not making any money. You're giving it away. So that's not a good salesperson. If you're barely able to pay your bills, but you're calling yourself a closer, no. Your best closers are the people that make the most money. Fact. Period. And those people are willing to sacrifice. So what are your team members? What is that person willing to give up to achieve that goal for that child, for that car, for that house, or whatever it is? It is our responsibility as management to identify that. Too many people at stores believe that when these folks come in, it's on them to succeed or fail. No, they entrust their livelihood and their lives and their families for us to be able to give them the resources for them to be successful. But what's really unfortunate is that too many managers go untested. They got to where they are, but sometimes those skills get a little dull. Those nerves get a little bit greater. They don't want to go out there and face that difficult customer anymore either. So I highly recommend you, if you're a GM or GSM, make sure you keep checking your manager skills. See where they are. Are they staying up to date on cutting edge technologies? Okay, but identify what it is that team member is willing to sacrifice. Number 4, help them create a plan. I like to call it breaking things down to reduction of ridiculous, where you ask a person, what is your yearly goal? Divide that down into a monthly goal. Then you break that down, divide it by 22 work days or whatever it is your schedule is at your dealership. You divide that monthly goal by those days. So now you give this person what their daily target is. It's just like dealerships that still say, make sure you make 30 phone calls a day. And I always, whenever I go in and I'm brought into a store, the very first question I ask when I hear people talk about the phone call method, I say, how many people call you randomly and you pick up and you talk to them? How many phone calls do you duck a day? And so you're telling your team members to go out and do something that you don't even like. You don't even respond to. And we're more different, folks, than we are, we're more similar than we are different. We may vary externally, but on the inside, we're more alike than we are different. So if you don't want to take the call, you don't enjoy making the calls, what makes you think they are? And with today's technology, prospecting has evolved. Social selling is real. Imagine a customer that comes to your dealership that did not buy, but immediately that sales rep goes online, finds them on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram and shoots them a friend request. Now, they can just maybe send a nice little picture of the vehicle or something a little later, or just hey, thank you for coming in the other day, really appreciate it. And then the very next message then could be either to set up another appointment or scheduling a phone call. Or maybe it's just a question about, anything that they may want more information on, whatever it is. But it's evolved. It's much wider than the phone. The one issue with our business, it has been a male-dominated industry for so long that the egos it's difficult for people to get out of the old mindset. This is not the 80s. There was no internet. There was no social media when most of us got in the game. But it's evolved. So you want to help your people create a plan of execution. And the 5th one is executing. Helping them execute. Is someone on your staff meeting with team members every day to see what they did to achieve the goal the day before, where they were with it, and what is their plan for that day? I believe, personally, what I believe and I see as a wasted opportunity is when a sales meeting is used as an ass chewing session. That is the most counterproductive thing I've ever seen. So you take people that are coming in fresh in the morning, they woke up, they're ready to go get money. You go in there, you start blasting people, so everybody's in there scared, hoping that they're not next. The person who got blasted is pissed off, want to come up there and punch somebody in the mouth. Then it says, all right, team, let's break and go out there and have a great day. You know those people are walking out of that meeting saying, boy, I'm glad he ain't said that to me because I might have beat they, you know what I'm saying? Or, oh my God, can you believe they did that? Now, and the other person who was exposed like that is embarrassed. A sales meeting should be used just for that. Sales training techniques to get them pumped up. I truly believe it is more effective, and I have this in practice at different stores. If you're going to have an ass chewing meeting, it's better to have it at the end of the day than at the beginning of the day. What's the difference? Make it brief. It don't have to linger. These are adults. And if they're not willing to work and do what it takes and they're still on your staff, then, shame on that person that's not willing to do what it takes for the business and get rid of them. But these 5 things, so you want to help them with their financial mindset. Number 2, identify the goal and the pain. Identify it. Find out what it is in detail. If it's a car, what kind of car? What color is it? What features does it come with? If it's a home, where is it? What does it look like? If it's a person, if it's to get married, what's the date? When do you plan on it? Blah, blah, blah. Be specific and have them write it out. Print it out, post it up in their cubicle. If it's a family member, bring that picture in. Number 3, sacrifice. Have them write out, what are you willing to do to achieve this? Before you give up on yourself, what are you willing to give for it? Before you say it failed you, what are you willing to do to ensure the highest probability of your success? Because if you're not willing to give anything, I can tell you right there, you're not going to get anything. So I help them identify what it is. Many people never have these thoughts. They never, listen, most folks, the next step is planning. Most folks plan more for a vacation than a barbecue. They'll tell you what hotels they're going to go at, what highways they need to take, when the highways need to be on, what day they're leaving, when they're coming back, how much money they're taking. On the cookout, they know who's coming, what's on the menu, or what type of drinks they're going to have, all that. But ask them, hey, listen, what's your objective at your place of business for the next 30 days? Oh, man, I don't have time for that. The next 6 months, the next year. And remember, failing to plan is planning to fail, okay? So make sure that they have that plan. And then number 5 is execution. Talk is cheap. And can you imagine, I deal with thousands of dealerships nationwide, And here's another thing about that real quick, and I'm going to get off here. Because my wife is, when I'm off the road and I'm home, I'm supposed to be committed to family time. But listen, we in this business. Y'all know we don't sleep. And I love this game. I love this industry. It's opened more doors for men and women than anything else I've ever seen. And I want you to help me watch out for these posers out here. You got a lot of folks jumping in our business and they're selling people dreams and delivering them nightmares. Telling people, oh, you're going to make $100,000 when you get started in this business. Man, do you know what you have to do to make $100,000 a year selling vehicles? Is it possible? Yes. But you're telling the Green Pea that came from Walmart that that's what they're going to do? They've never made more than $20,000 in a year, and all of a sudden this $80,000 increase, they're going to believe that? Come on, these posers. I'm going to give you 2 things to look out for. The next time you consider it, listen, let's face it. Any smart person in the business know you can never have enough good salespeople. And let's face it. A GM and a GSM and a sales manager's time is spent on so many different aspects of the business. The GM is in multiple departments, going through multiple reports, having multiple meetings, on-site and off-site. The GSM is overseeing all of the day-to-day. He's also she's looking at reports and things like that. Then the sales manager is consumed with working deals and putting out fires and all of that. So how much time do they really have to commit to screening and going through people the way they should? Or some stores do what I've seen done. They have people that have never sold a vehicle a day in their life that are screening through resumes, scheduling appointments, and are literally giving people aptitude tests and basing that on their ability to come in and be successful. Man, let me tell you, if that's something that you consider, some of the best salespeople I've ever met have no degrees, come from the school of hard knocks, might even had a little scratch on their criminal background before, but they come in hard. And those people with those degrees and those great looking resumes, you know what? A lot of those turn out to be job jumpers. Why? Because they have all those great credentials and they look so good. Everybody's willing to give them a shot and they know it. They know it. You got to see what's within that person. Look them in the eye. Put them through little tests and things like that to see how bad they really want it. Because to make it in this business, you got to want it. And listen, I paid my dues. I started out selling at the dealerships. I remember getting started with my company, not making a dollar for the first 6 months, 9 years ago while I was building my reputation. And look now, I work with some of the biggest dealer groups nationwide because general managers and general sales managers are beginning to see it saves us more time and money having somebody that specializes in that come in and help us than it is us spending our man hours and our resources constantly funneling through 20, 50, 100 people to find one 20 unit a month producer that's consistent. So take this approach. Do what you can to help your team. Don't give up on people so quick. If you see they got the potential, sometimes it's just plant the seed and show them a little something can tweak them and turn them on. Hey, listen, I held you a little too long. I apologize. I'm Brian Maxwell. I'm the owner and founder of Sales Professionals of America Recruiting. And listen, shoot me a message. Let's communicate. If you are looking for sales consultants in your area with big ticket sales experience and automotive sales experience, you want them brought in. You want your management to be able to meet with them, to be able to select them, for them to be trained up, educated on the road to the sale at least, so that when they're added to your team, their return on investment can come back much quicker and they're much better prepared. Give me a message. Shoot me a message. Let's look at each other's, check your calendar, I'll check mine, and let's put something together. Other than that, hey, I hope you're having a great month. Hope the team is rocking out, and I will look forward to seeing you at the dealership. All right, y'all.